Hello, my friend. Evan Scoresby here with howtowithevan.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to automatically clean your email list of inactive subscribers using GetResponse. All right, so you're building a business online, right? It doesn't matter whether you're doing like e-commerce or affiliate marketing or network marketing, any type of business that you're doing online, you're most likely building an email list, right? So you're building an email list of subscribers, you're building a contact database where you can automatically follow up with those subscribers through email messages that you send out, right? And so your email list should be your most valuable asset, where they should be responsive and active with what you're sending them, and hopefully you have a lot of your subscribers clicking on the links in the emails that you send them and buying the products or services that you are recommending to them, and by doing so hopefully earning commissions and sales and making some money, right? But what do you do with the inactive subscribers, right? So you have people who are actively engaged, who are opening up your emails and clicking on your links, but then you'll have other people who just don't respond at all, where they don't open up their emails, and it's just like they're just a bump on the log, right? So what do you do with these inactive subscribers? We want to maintain what's called list hygiene. And so if your inactive subscribers are continually not opening up your emails, that's eventually going to hurt you and your GetResponse account, because you have a certain sending and email deliverability reputation to maintain on GetResponse. When you have high engagement of subscribers where they're actively opening up your emails and clicking on the links in those emails, your email deliverability reputation increases, which makes it possible for the emails that you send to your subscribers will end up in their inbox rather than their spam or junk folder. If you are constantly emailing inactive subscribers who don't do anything, that's going to lower your reputation on GetResponse, and eventually most of the emails that you send to them, and maybe even to your active subscribers, it'll start going in their spam or junk folder, which will just continue to drop your rates, right? And so we want to be able to clean your email list and get rid of the subscribers who are inactive, right? So over time, when you're emailing your contacts, you're only emailing people who are highly engaged, who are opening up your emails and clicking on the links in those emails. And when you do that, your open rates and your click rates are just going to explode, right? You can get 50% or higher open rates on average, by following this method. And so we can set this up automatically in GetResponse through something called automations, okay? An automation is an auto task. It's something that we set up in our account and we just forget about it, and it just automatically works in the background. And we're going to be setting up a few different automations to make this possible, okay? So we're going to go here to GetResponse. Well, before we go to GetResponse, here right below this video, we have the recommended automations for this list cleanup, right? So we have this one here. We're going to be showing you how to set a new subscriber score and email opens for scoring. We're going to do an automation for engaged and unengaged tags for email opens. And then the third automation, we'll be doing a list cleaning where we move contacts to an unengaged list that we're not going to email, okay? So you need a GetResponse account in order to obviously do this. So if you most likely do have a GetResponse account. It's an autoresponder service that allows you to collect contact information and build a database of emails, and it allows you to automatically follow up with your subscribers, right? You do need to be on the Plus plan of GetResponse or higher in order to do these custom automations. So if you don't have a GetResponse account, right above this video, there's a link here that says start a free 30-day trial, and you can start for free. Don't even have to put in a credit card to get access to your account to be able to get this set up, okay? But here in GetResponse, once we're logged in, and depending on when you're watching this video, your GetResponse account might look a little bit different. GetResponse might change their platform and how things are viewed. Don't worry, most likely the options are still there. You just have to find them. So you should have this option up here on the top left where it says menu. So if you click that, there's lots of different options that come up. We're going to be working with this one that says automations. Okay, automation. So I'm going to click on that. Okay. And this will take me to my workflow automation menu. If you haven't done any automations yet, it'll just be blank, and it'll give you some information on creating your first workflow. I have a couple of automations I've already set up here, but you want to find the option here with the blue button that says Create Workflow. Okay, so click on Create Workflow, and it gives us all of these different templates that we can use. So if you are a basic GetResponse user where you're only paying $15 a month, you're limited to only being able to use these templates, right? So in order to build from scratch and to customize these templates, we need to be on the Plus plan or higher. And so these are the ones that we're going to be going through, is building from scratch. Okay, so we're going to choose this option right here that says build from scratch. And the first thing that comes up is that it just gives us some information about before we begin, tells you some prerequisites of what we need. Okay, but I'm just going to skip through that since I already have it set up. And then it's going to prompt us to name our workflow. Okay, so I'm going to delete what's in here currently, and I'm just going to put in a new name for new subscribers and email open scoring. Okay, you can identify it however you want. That's what I'm going to do for this one. And then it tells us that we need to start the process when a certain trigger. So we're going to start the process when somebody subscribes to our email list. For this is new subscribers, right? So I'm going to click on this option that says subscribes. So this inserts the first element, which is the trigger point that initializes this workflow. So once somebody subscribes to my list through any method, and I have it specified here, any list through any method. You can change that over here on the right, where you can select a specific list if you want, and specific methods, right? But I want to have this apply to all of my subscribers, regardless of how they opt in to my email list, okay? And then if you are a current GetResponse user and you already have contacts on your email lists, you can choose this option over here on the right that says include contacts who are already in this list before the workflow starts. So you can turn that on, and any contact that you already have, it will automatically send them through this workflow. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it off as this is a new account and I don't have a lot of subscribers in here. And so subscribes to any list through any method. Okay. And then we need to do the second trigger point where we're going to set a score for our subscribers. So everybody coming in, they're going to be assigned a score just as a new subscriber. Okay. So I'm going to click this option up here that says add elements. And I'm going to come down to the second section for these actions. And there's one here that's labeled score. Okay. So I'm going to drag this over and put this underneath the first element. And it's telling me choose how to score. So over here on the right, I can either add points, I can subtract points, set exactly, or erase scoring. I'm going to set exactly, and then it prompts us to put in a number. I'm just going to, for me, I'm going to put in 25 as the score number. Okay. And this will kind of make sense as we go through the other workflows, and I'll explain this in a little bit later. But once I have set the score, I am going to connect these two together. So I'm going to click on the green check mark, and I'm just going to click and hold and drag it down to this point, and it will show a green line there. And when you let go and release of the mouse, it will show that they're connected. Okay, so they need to have that line to go to the next part in the workflow. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do in this workflow is I want to choose another element for the next trigger. So they subscribe to a list, they're added 25 points to their profile, and now I'm going to choose this message option. So whenever a message is opened, okay? But this is defaulted to when any newsletter is open. I'm going to change this to any. Because I want any message that I send through any method, whether it's through a newsletter, which is an on-demand broadcast email, or an autoresponder, which is an email that's sent out on a schedule, or an automation, which is a message that would be sent out based on your subscribers' actions. So regardless of how I email them, I want to have the next trigger point be is if and when anybody opens up the first any email that I send them. Okay. Now, depending on if they open up the email or not will determine the next trigger points, right? So if they do open up the email, we're going to do something here on the left. If they don't open up the email, signified by the red X, a different action is going to be taken. Okay. But before we add that in, you'll see over here on the right side, there's some specifications that we can set here. I'm going to choose, this to never, because this is going to be put on a loop and it's going to be constantly running with any email message that I send out. Okay. So I'm going to put never on that. And then I'm going to come over here and add element. Okay. So in this one, I want to be able to add points to my contact's profile when they engage, right? So if they open up an email, I want to add 2 points, okay? If they don't open up that email, I want to subtract points. So depending on their actions will determine the points that they get or don't get. So the higher the points that your contacts has, the higher engaged that they are, right? The more engaged that they are. The lower the points that your subscribers have, the lower that they are engaged, right? So they're not very active. And then depending on that score in a later automation, we're going to show you, how to remove those contacts. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to choose this score option. And I'm going to connect the dots, okay? And then choose how to score. And I'm going to add points this time. And I'm going to enter a number 2. So I'm going to add 2 points. And then I'm going to change the default color to customize this a little bit. So when they're adding points, I'm going to set that to green. You can just leave it at the default if you want though. And then I'm going to have this run on a loop. So they add 2 points and I'm going to drag and drop this back up to this trigger point here. So when any message is opened, it will always be adding points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, right? So they could get a really high score depending on how active they are. And then on this other side, I'm going to do another score option, okay, but I'm going to do a weight first, okay? So I'm going to choose the weight element. I'm going to connect the dots, and I'm going to wait 2 days because people get busy. They get lots of emails probably, and it might take some people a day or two to actually open up the email. So I don't want that to happen automatically. So I just want to wait 2 days, gives them some time to open up the emails. But if after 2 days that they don't open it up, then I'm going to do another score tag, right? So I'm going to come back over here to the elements. I'm going to choose how to score. I'm going to connect these dots, and then I'm going to subtract points this time. And I'm going to subtract 1 point. I'm going to change this one to red. I'm going to change this weight kind of to a yellow to customize it. All right, so here we go. So here's the automation. Subscribes to any list, any method, they get 25 points. If they open up emails, they get 2 additional points for every email that they open up. If they don't open up the emails, they get subtracted a point. And then I'm going to loop this one back up here so that we'll just always be running, okay? And that's the automation. This is the very first automation that we need to do. And then I'm going to click Save and Publish up here. So Save and Publish. And it will just come back and say, all right, good job, amazing workflow. I'm going to click on All Workflows here. So now I have this new automation for new subscribers and email opens. Okay, so this is the first one that we did here. Okay, so the second one that we need to do is we need to do this one that's labeled for engaged and unengaged tags for email opens. Okay, so engaged and unengaged tags. All right, so let's go back here to GetResponse, and we'll explain this workflow as I build it out. Okay, so I'm going to create this workflow, create a new workflow up here at the top. And I'm going to build from scratch again. And it's going to prompt me to go through this. This is always comes up. And then I'm going to set a name. So I'm going to put engaged / unengaged tags for email opens. And the trigger point on this one is going to be when opening a message. Okay, so I'm going to select that option. And I'm going to select when any message is open, just not a newsletter, when any message is opened. And then I'm going to put never on that because we want it to continuously run. Okay, so the next element in here is that we want to, depending on if they open a message or not, in the previous one, automation, it's scoring points. In this one, we are going to be tagging the subscribers, and a tag is just putting on a identifying keyword to your contacts to segment the list, to separate contacts who are engaged and who are not engaged. Okay, and this is important to do, which will depend on the next workflow that we do. Okay, so over here, I'm going to come down here and get this tag element on the left. Okay, and I'm going to assign the tag. So if they open up any email message, okay, I'm going to connect those dots. It tells me to assign the tag. So over here on the right, I can assign or remove. Okay, I'm actually going to set up, I'm going to show you this, and we'll explain the workflow. I'm going to first remove the tag because I have these tags set up already. Okay, a list of tags. If you don't have tags set up, you can just choose this option here at the top that says create new. Okay, or assign, should be a create tag option. Okay, but I'm going to remove a tag, and it's going to be unengaged contacts. Okay, because if they haven't opened up emails, they're going to be assigned an unengaged tag. So when they do open up an email, we're going to remove that tag and we are going to assign a new one, right? So I'm going to come here and put another tag option, connect those dots, and this time I'm going to assign the tag for engaged contacts. Okay, and I'm going to change that color to green. So, and then on this other side, we're going to add an element. We're going to wait 2 days as well. Okay, so on the previous automation that we did, we're waiting 2 days to give people time to open up the email from us, right? But after 2 days, I'm going to set that for 2 days over here on the right. After 2 days, we want to assign the tag. So we're assigning the tag for unengaged contacts. Okay, so this tells me that people who don't open up the emails, they're considered not engaged, right? And I'm going to set that to red. All right, and so this is the workflow. We're going to do one last thing here. We're just going to loop this side and have it come up here to the top, right? So anytime that somebody doesn't open up an email, they'll just come back and give them another chance to open up the email so we can remove that tag and we can assign the new one for engaged contacts. And then over here on this element, we just want to make sure that this is set to run multiple times and set that to never. And so once we have it set up like this, we'll be able to come up here to save and publish. Okay, so save and publish. Now, sometimes if it doesn't give you the option to save and publish like it is right now, there might be something in the workflow that's not correct. And I think it might actually be this connection that loops it back up. So if I double click on this option right here, it'll remove that workflow option. So this will still work with any new message that gets sent out. So we don't actually need to loop this. And so we'll just leave it like this. And then we're going to come back here to save and publish. And if it saves and publishes and takes it back, everything's good. There's not anything wrong with the connections. It'll go back, okay? And then we're going to click on See All Workflows. And now we have this engaged and unengaged tags for email opens. All right. So last automation that we're going to do, and this one's simple. This one's the list cleaning to move contacts to an unengaged list. Now, before you do this particular automation, we need to go in your GetResponse account under lists, and you just need to make sure that you have a new list here designated for unsubscribers or for unengaged subscribers. So I have this list right here that's just labeled unengaged subscribers. So in this automation, When they have the tag unengaged contacts, it's going to look to see what score they have, and if their score is 10 or less, then we're going to move that subscriber to this unengaged subscriber list. So that's going to be an inactive list that I'm not going to be emailing. And the reason I'm putting them on a separate list is maybe I'll try to email them in the future and try to re-engage them. Or you can choose an option to just remove them from your account completely. So you can choose those couple of different options there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come back here to GetResponse. I'm going to come back up here to Menu, go to Automations, and then I'm going to create a new workflow. We are going to go to this option right here on the left that says Engagement and Retention. And then we have this list cleaning through tags and scores. So we're going to choose this template. This one will give us the option that we're looking for. Okay, so this automatically puts in all the elements that we need. Okay, and now I just need to assign the tag. And this is again going to unengaged contacts. So when a contact is unengaged, it will look at the score. And it's set to 50, but I'm going to change this to 10. Okay. So whenever the score is less than or equal to 10. Okay. And again, on this first element here, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this on and set that to never. So run multiple times. If you have contacts, you can include those, and then never. And then on the second element here, I'm going to put in is less than or equal to 10. And then I'm going, on this option, it's asking, to remove from your account. Okay. So you can keep it to have it completely removed, but in my example, I'm going to move them to a different list. So I'm actually going to delete this particular element, and I'm going to choose a new one that says Move to List. Okay. So I'm going to select the list, which is my unengaged subscribers, and then I'm going to connect the dots. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to change that color to yellow, I guess. All right. So here's this. So we're going to select Don't Add to Cycle, yellow. Okay. So on this list cleaning option here, really easy. Okay. Whenever the tag is unengaged contacts, it's going to look at the score, and if the score is 10 or less, then it's going to move them to this unengaged subscriber list. So it'll effectively take out the inactive subscribers who are not engaging, because if they don't open up my emails, it's going to lower their points by 1, subtract 1 point for every email message that they don't open. And if they don't open those emails continually, then it will eventually drop their score down from 25 to 10, right? So I give them, a long time to be able to be engaged with my emails, right? So when they are opening up the emails, it's adding points, right? So they could be adding and subtracting at all times. So once this is done, I'm going to come back up here that says Save and Publish. And we're good. So see all workflows. So now, I need to change the name. It didn't give me the name change. I forgot to do that. So I'm going to come back here. It says Draft. I'm going to open that back up. To go in and change the name, I click on this gear setting up here at the top right. And I'm going to change the name to List Cleaning, Move Contacts to Unengaged List. Press OK. And I'm going to save and publish again. Now, when I look at my workflows, I have these 3 workflows that I just did that are all working together. That is going to be scoring all of my contacts depending, when they first get new subscribers and when they open up the emails and when they don't open them up. It's going to assign them different tags for engaged or not engaged. And then once they're assigned the tag unengaged, it's going to look at their score. And if their score falls below 10 or below, then they're going to be moved to a list for inactive subscribers, which will essentially clean out my email list automatically. So when I'm emailing them, emailing my subscribers. I'm just going to be emailing active subscribers most of the time. All right, so I know this was kind of a lengthy video, and hope you found this information helpful, though. That shows you how to do this. I'll probably break up this video and have links to the specific automations below. So if you need to go back and just watch the specific automation, I'll probably break it up so you can have a link there to it. But just keep on pressing forward, never give up on your dreams, and hope you like this video. If you did, please leave a comment below, share it with your friends, be happy for the interaction, and then I hope we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.